Welcome back to Ask Nico, where you guys ask me questions and I try my best to give advice. The first question is from Luke Daly. Hi Nico, I feel like I spend my days doing nothing inside, playing video games, watching as life goes past me. Part of me feels like I'm wasting my life, but the other part feels comfortable and happy in this state. I guess my question is, should I be okay with being blissfully detached from reality if it brings me joy? This is a great question, Luke. A really good question. The answer is a big, fat, hard no. You should not be blissfully detached from reality. You should not just be comfortable because it somewhat brings you joy. Because you said it yourself, part of you feels like you're wasting your life. That feeling is not going to go away, and the more you wait, the worse it's going to become. You need to go out and do things, man. You need to experience life to its fullest, okay? Trust me, I've fallen into that trap. I've fallen into that trap of staying inside and doing nothing. And I'm kind of currently in that trap, but I'm giving myself a reason, okay? I have a goal in mind that requires me to lock in, okay? If you don't have a goal in mind, if you're not pursuing something actively and you're just kind of wasting away, go experience some things, man. Go outside. Go meet up with some friends. Go make some friends. Go to a bar. Go to a function. Go to a Renaissance fair for all I care. Just do something. Playing video games is fun, don't get me wrong. It's a great pastime. It's good for you to blow off steam and explore worlds that other people built for you. In many cases, it's even good to socialize. In fact, that's the only reason I really game right now. I either game to make content, which I love doing, and I also game to interact with my friends, interact with friends that I can't necessarily interact with in person. In fact, I have friends that live in Europe, friends that live in Australia. I'm sure there's a couple in South America at this point. The point is, I use it to socialize, or I use it for content creation. But I don't really game on my own that much anymore, because I don't really enjoy it that much. And the reason I don't enjoy it that much is because I just did so much of it as a kid and as a teenager to the point where I got bored. I just got bored of the constant gaming and in some cases grinding because I wanted to get a good rank in Counter-Strike or whatever the hell game I was playing at the time. It's not worth it, man. Go out. As the famous content creators of Yes Theory might say, seek discomfort. If you think that you're too comfortable where you are right now, it's time to look somewhere else. It's time to seek some discomfort. It's time to find something that you're passionate about. I don't know. Just go. Just do it. I don't want to be a Shia LaBeouf clone, but just do it. Now, does this mean that you have to give up gaming altogether like I'm kind of doing? No. You should not do that because it brings you joy. But don't just do that. Do more. In any case, thank you for your comment and best of luck in your endeavors. The next question is from Awina or Awina. I hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat correctly. I've always been a very curious person. I've always found it interesting to delve into a plethora of topics which are foreign to me. However nice that might sound, I actually feel like it's stopping me from truly investing myself into one of them and finding my quote-unquote thing. Have you ever been in that situation before? And if yes, how do you recommend getting out of it and settling down for a quote-unquote home-based topic/activity? Keep up the great work. Well, first of all, before I answer this question, thank you for being a member. I really appreciate you. But I actually just did away with the YouTube memberships and launched a Patreon. With the YouTube membership, you had access to videos early and all the past live streams. But with Patreon, I can offer you more, such as access to my Minecraft world saves and certain Discord privileges and a lot more that you can find on my Patreon at Niko Yaps. So if you would like to show me some extra support, the Patreon link is in the description below. Thank you once again, and now for the answer. I think that it's great that you're a curious person and you're always trying out new things. It's a great exercise for your mind because you're always training yourself to do something new, and it's great to embrace new things. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I have struggled with this exact same issue. There came a time in my life where, at least on the YouTube sense, I used to make 5 different types of content. I was making gaming videos, I was making Discord funny moments, I was making role plays, I was doing so many things for so many different games. And of course, as any YouTuber knows, you can't just post every type of thing that you're interested on YouTube. You need to find some sort of a niche or some sort of a concept for your channel. So that kind of was a detriment to my YouTube channel, and I understand that now, and I see where you're coming from. So I eventually settled on this Yap stuff that kind of just came out of nowhere. It was a new hobby, it was a new channel I made that came out of nowhere, and people liked it. So what I'm going to say to you is don't stop what you're doing. Just keep trying things. Keep seeing what works. Keep seeing what you like. And even if you have like 10 hobbies at the end of the day, you don't have to pursue all of them at the same time. You can do one for a bit, then go to a different one. And things should work out fine that way because you have a lot of interests and you can find different people to do certain interests with. You can make new friends by doing this. And as far as you finding your thing, that thing will just sort of appear to you. One day you're going to find something that you like doing more than anything else in the world. Now that might be knitting, that might be carpentry, that might be building Lego sets. You will find that one of those things is more interesting to you than the rest. And when you find that, you're not going to stop doing it. And even if you don't find that, I don't think there's that big of an issue with it. You're a person of many interests and a person of much curiosity, which is a good thing. Stay curious, okay? It is honestly a great quality to have. Now, this is more if it applies to a hobby. If you're trying to find a thing that you're looking to turn into an occupation or something, that might be a different story. Then you might have to stay a little more consistent. But I don't think there's a problem with what you're doing. I don't think you necessarily need to find a home-based topic. Why not be a jack of all trades in that sense? Why not learn 5 different languages if you don't like just learning 2? Why not be good at doing stuff with your hands while also being good at dealing with, software issues and technology? There really is no downside to doing a lot of things. The only downside is that you will be a master of none. But jack of all trades, master of none is kind of a lot of what most people have to do in their lives anyway. So I don't see a problem with it. I think you're fine. And if you're really longing to find your thing, to find that one thing that's going to be the most interesting to you, just keep looking. Eventually it will come. And if it doesn't come, you will have tried so many things at some point that you will be the best jack of all trades on the planet, and you will probably be the most interesting person to talk to. Anyway, I hope this helps. Best of luck to you. And on to the next question. This question is from Meryl1. Hey, I'm a bit of a determinist. I came to this conclusion from studies, not baseless belief. I think there are biological and environmental factors that set someone up for either success or failure. I wanted to ask, do you genuinely believe in the things that you say? That pursuing your passion will lead you to success? That anyone can quote-unquote make it? I love your videos, and I don't mean to come off as accusatory, but are these things really that realistic? This is also another great question. We got a lot of good ones today. Here's what I'll say to this. I consider myself a realist. And I also understand that there are biological and environmental factors that will set someone up for certain things, right? The nature and nurture concept. As a realist, I understand that not every single person is going to make it. I understand that not every single person is going to find success. But here's my question to you. If you go in with the notion that you have a biological predisposition to not be successful in life, you won't be successful in life regardless. Because you don't actually believe in your own abilities. You have to take calculated risks on yourself. And this is also scientifically studied. If you wake up every day and you tell yourself in the mirror, you're a failure, you won't make it, you're nothing, you will actually start to believe it. You will actually start to have a mental reaction to what you're telling yourself. Because the brain isn't smart enough to understand that this is just you telling yourself something. It's almost like hearing it from other people. Whereas if you wake up every day with a more positive attitude, right? You say, you know what? I'm not doing that well, but I can move through today. I can do it. I will eventually be successful. You will have a much higher likelihood of being successful. And this is coming from me. I'm someone that tells myself all the time, you're doing shit today. You need to get up and fix your act. Okay? That's not necessarily the most healthy thing to do, but I'm also not setting myself up for failure by saying I can't do it because my environment or my biology are telling me not to. As far as the biology goes, we will never really know as people if we're truly being inhibited by our biology. And even if we have certain biological issues, let's say you somehow got paralyzed from the waist down, but then you did physical therapy and are now a marathon runner when before you barely went on a walk every day. See, that's like a biological thing that's not a predisposition, but it happened at some point in your life and you were biologically, technically not capable of walking again. You still were able to do it. This is not necessarily a predisposition per se, but this is still a situation where someone was told that they were never going to walk again, and they still did it. And in terms of environment, yes, environment can have a huge impact on how you're going to do in life. Environment, if you're in a bad school district, if you're in a bad neighborhood, are all issues that you might have. But if you make the mistake and use that as a crutch to say to yourself you're not going to make it because of that, that's bullshit. That's an excuse. That's just you not wanting to put in the extra effort. Sure, some people have it better than you, but think of how much better you have it than somebody else. If you're able to watch this YouTube video right now, you have it better than most of the third world. So consider yourself lucky in that sense. Consider yourself ahead of lots and lots of people because you have access to certain technologies that others do not. Try your best to be grateful for what you have, even if it's not always the best. So back to your determinist theory, for those of you who don't know, determinists believe that something can only happen one way and there's no other way for it to happen. Well, you're not going to know how that thing is going to happen anyway. There is no real way of knowing how your determinism is going to play out. So why not give yourself the best possible scenario for it to play out? Why not aim for the stars? Because you don't know if you're going to make it. There's no way of you knowing if you're going to do it. There's no real empirical data. The only data that you have is your own mind, okay? Your mind and your ability to control your mind and control your life and do things the way you want them and do things the way they need to be done. Now, I will add this to the equation. If you want to be a basketball player and you don't have arms and hands, you will not be a basketball player. That is one of the cases where I will say that is simply not in the cards for you. But most people have arms. You know what I mean? I can't possibly know the rate of success on what you want to do. But there have been some pretty crazy stories of people succeeding in fields with the biggest handicaps and still being at the top. So do I believe in what I say? Yes. Because theoretically, based on everything I just explained, everyone can succeed, but everyone can also fail. Everyone can be successful because we have a way of measuring success. But we don't necessarily have a way of measuring failure, because failure is only realistically when you stop trying to do something. Failure is only when you say, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm quitting. Failure is not when you fall down. As long as you get back up, you technically haven't failed. Anyway, a bit of a tangent. I hope this answers your question, but thank you again for your comment. The next question is from Jay Rousey. Hey Niko, wanted to start off by saying I love the way you love to give advice. I live for that. But I wanted to ask you if I should worry about my life after school. I've been pulled out of school countless times to do homeschool, and then I always get put back into school, and then it's a repeat. And I've just never seemed to do good in school with any of the schools I've been to. And even in my homeschool life, I've learned basically nothing in the past 7 years, and I don't think I'll graduate. The only reason I've passed my grades is because I end the year off in homeschool. Do you think I'll go homeless because I won't get a diploma? Okay, so this is a bit of a problematic situation, right? You're struggling with school, and you're struggling a lot from what I can tell. If you're having to be pulled out of school to be put into homeschool only to pass, this is going to be a problem. Now, there's many things that you could consider here. You might want to consider seeing what the issue is with a medical professional. You might have ADHD, you might have dyslexia, you might have a myriad of things that might be disrupting your learning ability. If you go consult medical professionals and you see that nothing is wrong, then it might just be simply that you actually just are not built for school. On the other hand, it might just be the way that you're being forced to learn. Maybe you're a visual learner, maybe you're a kinesthetic learner instead of being a reading/writing/auditory learner. Maybe at homeschool with your parents aren't good at teaching you anything. Maybe you could consider a tutor or something. And if everything I've just outlined doesn't work, well, then you might want to consider other options, because I don't think you would do very well in an office job per se, or anything that would require a lot of reading/writing and you sitting in one place. You will probably like doing physical labor type jobs, things that require you to work with your hands and understand things with a more visual sense. Now, those jobs might be harder in theory. You might have to be in the sun. You might have to work in harsh physical conditions, but you won't go homeless. I feel like every person has some part to play in this world, but you might not love the options that you have available to you. Everyone can get a GED, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's particularly hard for anyone to pass the, I don't know what is it? I think it's a test or something. Basically saying that you finished some version of school. If you get a high school diploma of some sort, whether it's a GED or a normal one, you will be fine. You will be able to find some version of work. You won't go homeless per se. But you're going to have to work 10 times as hard as anybody else, because high school doesn't open that many doors to you by default. If you can then bear through trade school and get a trade and be good at that, then you will be fine. If you can't go to trade school, and since you most definitely won't be going to college based on what I'm hearing, you will probably struggle a bit. But if you work hard and smart, you will be fine. In any case, I hope this helps. Best of luck. And I think we have one more question. The last question is from Martin Mora. Hello, Niko. The thing is the following. From some experiences, I feel that because I am a boy, I cannot express my feelings because they would be ridiculed and not taken seriously. What should I do about that? So you've just walked into the harsh reality of being a male. So here's what I'll tell you. Your feelings matter, my friend. Your feelings matter, and you should express them. Now, there is a catch with this. As guys, we don't always necessarily have a free pass with expressing our feelings. Not everyone always gives a shit. So what I will suggest to you is it really depends on your situation. What are you expressing your feelings about? Are you expressing your feelings of discontent? Are you expressing feelings towards a girl you like? Are you expressing your feelings towards your parents? It really depends on what you're doing. But the general rule of thumb with pretty much all of those is you can't bottle your feelings up. You have to allow yourself to talk to people about your feelings. You have to express what you're feeling, because you will end up exploding one day. One day, You're going to have so much bottled up that you're just going to push it all down and it's going to come up like a volcano, and you won't have a way to stop it at that point. So, you need to be honest with people. You need to tell people how you're feeling, and you need to know that it's okay to do so. If someone is ridiculing you about doing so, odds are they are going to be insecure about expressing their own feelings. Odds are they are as scared as you to do the same thing, and they are envious of you for having the bravery of expressing those feelings. Again, I don't know your specific situation, but go with your gut. No matter how shitty your previous experiences have been, don't fall for the classic male stereotype of having to bottle everything up and just take all of the punches. There is a limit to that, of course. Don't go expressing your feelings to everybody, okay? Not everyone needs to know what you're thinking. Don't go oversharing things if you don't think that you want things to be known. Being vulnerable and expressing your feelings is a hard thing to do, especially for a guy. And I understand you, man, I really do. So once again, when it comes to expressing your feelings, follow your gut and just be cautious of what you're expressing and to who. It is all very dependent on the situation. Best of luck to you. And I think that is the end of today's Ask Niko. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you would like me to give you some advice in the next video, please comment down below. And as always, good night and good luck, everybody.